You watched a stranger's dog get excited to see them in a parking lot today. Maybe you saw an old man eating alone at a restaurant, or someone dedicated a song to their late mother at a small concert nobody was filming, and something moved inside you that felt almost embarrassing, given that none of it had anything to do with you. You didn't choose to feel it. It just arrived, heavy, full, real. And if you've spent your life being told you're too sensitive, that you take things too personally, that you need to toughen up, I want to tell you something that nobody probably has.
Your brain is not malfunctioning. It's doing something genuinely rare. And once you understand what's actually happening inside you, you'll never apologize for it again. In the early 2000s, psychologist Elaine Aron identified something she called the highly sensitive person, or HSP. And before you dismiss that as a soft label invented to make people feel better about crying at commercials, here's what the research actually shows.
Roughly 15 to 20% of the population has a nervous system that processes sensory and emotional information more deeply than everyone else. Not differently in a broken way, differently in a depth of processing way. Brain imaging studies have shown that highly sensitive people show significantly more activation in areas associated with awareness, empathy, and integration of information. What that means in plain language is this. When something happens around you, your brain doesn't just register it and move on. It processes it, cross-references it, feels the weight of it, notices what everyone else already forgot. That's not weakness. That's a different operating system. The problem is, you've been running that system in a world designed for people who process things at surface level.
And that mismatch is exhausting in ways that are genuinely hard to explain to someone who doesn't experience it. Here's something you've probably noticed but never had words for. You don't just hear an argument happening nearby. You absorb it. The tension gets inside you, even when it has nothing to do with you. A raised voice in the next room changes the entire atmosphere of your body. Criticism doesn't just sting for a moment. It replays. You turn it over, examine it from every angle, feel it again at 2 a.m. when the person who said it has completely forgotten they did. And crowded places, loud environments, social situations that drain most people a little, they drain you completely. Not because you're antisocial, because your nervous system is processing everything at a higher resolution than everyone around you.
Neuroscientist Bianca Acevedo published research showing that HSPs display greater activation of mirror neuron systems, the part of the brain responsible for emotional empathy. When someone near you is in pain, your brain doesn't just observe it, it simulates it. You feel a version of what they feel, whether you want to or not. That's why you can walk into a room and immediately sense that something is off before a single word is spoken. That's why you feel responsible for other people's moods, even when you had nothing to do with creating them. Your brain is picking up signals that most people's brains are simply not tuned to receive. Now, here's where I want to be honest with you about something, because I think this video would be doing you a disservice if I didn't say it. Feeling deeply is a gift, but it can also become a trap. Some people who feel everything too intensely develop what psychologists call emotional hypervigilance, a state where your nervous system is permanently scanning the environment for threats, changes in tone, shifts in someone's energy, signs that something is about to go wrong. Not because you're paranoid, because at some point in your life, staying sensitive kept you safe. You learned to read the room because the room mattered, because someone's mood determined what happened next. And so your brain kept that setting turned all the way up long after you left whatever situation required it. The result is a kind of emotional exhaustion that's hard to explain to people who don't experience it. You're not tired from doing too much. You're tired from feeling too much, from carrying the emotional weight of every room you walk into, from caring about things deeply in a world that mostly operates on the surface. That's a real thing. It has a real cost.
and you are allowed to acknowledge that. But here's the reframe that I think matters most. Research consistently shows that highly sensitive people, when they exist in the right environments, don't just survive. They become the people others turn to in crisis. The ones who notice what's wrong before anyone names it. The ones who create things, art, music, writing, solutions that move people because they were made by someone who actually felt something while making them. Psychologist Michael Plous at Queen Mary University of London studied what he calls Vantage sensitivity, the finding that highly sensitive people don't just respond more strongly to negative experiences, they respond more strongly to positive ones too. The right environment, the right relationship, the right work. It elevates them further than it would anyone else. Your sensitivity is not just a liability you're managing. It is, under the right conditions, one of the most powerful things about you. The problem was never that you feel too much. The problem was that nobody taught you what to do with it. Nobody handed you a framework for understanding why you work this way, or how to protect your energy without shutting yourself down, or how to exist in loud, shallow, fast-moving spaces without losing yourself completely in them. You were just told to toughen up. And when that didn't work, you assumed something was wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. People who feel everything too deeply are not people who need to feel less. They're people who need a world that's finally honest enough to admit it needs them. The capacity to feel the weight of a stranger's grief, to notice beauty in things others walk past, to love people with a depth that sometimes terrifies even you, that's not a design flaw. It might be the most human thing there is. And the next time someone tells you you're too much, too emotional, too intense, too sensitive, remember this. You are not too much. You ended up in spaces that were not enough. If you recognized yourself anywhere in this video, subscribe. Because this channel exists specifically for the way your mind works. And if you want to go further, there's something in the pinned comment built around resetting the patterns that keep sensitive people stuck. The overthinking, the emotional exhaustion, the difficulty switching off. It's practical, it's structured, and it's linked below.